What's the latest with Luigi? It's been over a month since Luigi Mangione allegedly shot a healthcare CEO on the streets of Manhattan and started a social and political whirlwind, but what's happened since then? I feel like we haven't heard from Luigi. It turns out quite a lot has happened. He might even walk free. Now that's what we call clickbait. We have all the info for you right here on Scroll Deep with me, Benedict Townsend, the show that keeps up so you don't have to. We're broadening our horizons. Luigi Mangione, a man whose name I keep saying like a spell for some reason. He allegedly shot a healthcare executive back in December, and a lot of people keep saying, wow, Scroll Deep's the only place that says allegedly. He is accused of a crime. He's not been convicted of a crime. Legally, we should say allegedly. Also, did he do it? We'll find out. But he was arrested on December 9th, and then he was indicted on the 17th of December on many charges, including killing someone with a gun. Now, he has pleaded not guilty to all of these charges, which is both iconic and, I'll be honest, very funny. The 26-year-old faces 11 counts in New York, including one of murder in the first degree, and he's also had federal charges, like government charges. Now, the New York charges, if he's found guilty, he could get up to life in prison. The federal charges, if he's found guilty, he could be executed. So this is the highest stakes stuff. In his most recent court appearance, Luigi was wearing a very stylish red jumper with a little collar poking out, which I think his lawyer was also wearing. They're wearing like matching outfits. Now, this of course was a washable merino crewneck sweater from Nordstrom, which immediately sold out as soon as people saw it online. That's the Luigi effect. And in that court appearance, they were kind of going through the charges and talking through everything. And one big discussion point for Luigi's defense lawyer was his now infamous perp walk. This, where they made him look like Superman, where they surrounded him with massively armed guards, and also the mayor was there. What's so funny about that? I know we spoke about it already, but like they've got all these armed people around him like he's so dangerous, but then the mayor is just like 1 foot from him. It's like, if he's so dangerous, why are you letting the mayor near him? Surely he should be far away. It's almost like they did it as a big photo op. And that's what his lawyer says, saying, quote, "They are literally treating him like he is some sort of political fodder, like some sort of spectacle. He was on display for everyone to see in the biggest stage perp walk I've ever seen in my career. It was absolutely unnecessary. He's been cooperating with law enforcement. There was no reason for the NYPD and everybody to have these big assault rifles," concluding it was utterly political. Now, on December 13th, the crowdfunding platform GoFundMe removed a fundraiser. Boo. But people have been fundraising Luigi's legal costs. Now, apparently you're not allowed to do legal costs for violent crimes on GoFundMe. How boring. But another website called GiveSendGo has remained live and currently has over $200,000 raised from the public. This is, of course, the big subplot of the Luigi story, is just how much support he has been getting from members of the public and other people in prison, but we'll get to that in a sec. Now, the judge in this case has insisted that it will be a fair trial, saying we will carefully select a jury, and the next court date is February 21st. That is when we'll next see Luigi in court. And this is the point where everyone has started talking about this legal term called jury nullification. And this is basically where the jury goes, yes, we think you're guilty, but we're just not going to convict you anyway. It's kind of like civil disobedience. They're basically saying like, yeah, you're guilty of this law or this crime, but we think the law is bad, or we think the crime is sort of justified. It's not like something they willingly do. They don't go, hello, Your Honor, we're going to do jury nullification. They just kind of reach that conclusion and just decide to do it. And there's been all these headlines that are like, will we see jury nullification in this case? Probably not, because in America they choose their juries through a process called voir dire, which translates as hamburger, which is, to me, is one of the most insane things they do in America. The lawyers on both sides are allowed to pick the jury. It just feels so insane. But then again, this is also the country where they elect judges through political elections. So what are you going to do? Unlike the British legal system, which is famously great. I mean, the real black pill is that juries don't work at all, but we don't have time to get into that now. But what about Dave Franco? That's what most people have been asking in most situations. What does Dave Franco think about this? Well, he was asked by The Hollywood Reporter, has anyone approached you to play Luigi? Because a lot of people have pointed out that he looks quite a lot like Luigi. Like this is actually Luigi, and this is Dave Franco. You wouldn't think so. He was promoting a new horror film along with his wife, Alison Brie. And someone said, has anyone reached out to you? And Alison was like, anyone? Do you mean everyone? And he said, I've never received more text in my life about anything. So it seems like everyone has been saying he looks like Luigi. He says, anyone who has my phone number has reached out about it. Now, we don't know if there is a movie in the works, but we do know that there are 3 separate documentaries in the works. Which one of them will be the good one? It's like Fyre Fest, where there's the good one and then there's the other one. Who's going to make the good Luigi documentary? Also, are they going to have different angles? Because you can't make the same one 3 times. Like, one of them is going to have to be like told from the perspective of the McDonald's worker or something. something. I want a documentary about that other person that's in the video of the shooting, who like runs away, but not so fast because they don't want to spill their coffee. Like the ultimate New Yorker. But where is Luigi now? Where's our boy? Well, he's in prison. He's in jail, technically, awaiting the next series of court appearances. And a writer by the name of Vaughan Wright, he was only in the same facility as Luigi for a couple of days, that brief crossover, but he got to see a little bit about how he's faring. Apparently the guards are being quite, not lenient, but they're being a lot less harsh to Luigi. He said, quote, Mangione's notoriety likely softened the amount of oppression the guards here would usually dispense because they wanted something from him. Apparently he's been placed in the D block, which is usually reserved for death row inmates. That feels political, doesn't it? Why is he on death row? Like, I understand it's like a big crime, but like they put Jeffrey Epstein in a cell that like didn't have a door and was made out of straw. They put Jeffrey Epstein in a cell that didn't have a working camera and was guarded by two guys they found down the street. Like, why is Luigi on death row? Also, apparently every time he leaves his cell, they lock down the entire block and they don't let anyone else move around. Apparently he's also not in a standard uniform. He's in a protective suit, which is to prevent harm from himself or from others. Again, to me, that just feels like a sort of punishment thing, like you kind of adding all these layers of difficulty. But his fate will be decided, or begun to be decided, on the 21st of Feb, when we next see him in court. Will he be wearing a new shirt? Will it be from Nordstrom? Will it be merino wool? I mean, God knows how much money has probably been put in his prison account. He'll probably be wearing like a solid gold top hat and tails by that point. He'll probably have such a nice time in prison that he like wants to stay there. He's like, this is great. But you know, jokes aside, they probably will send him to prison forever, because they need to. The main thing is, you know, while he's in jail and not doing much, the internet is still very much alive with Luigi fever. Like, this has not dissipated. It's actually only got stronger. The sheer amount of memes, references, people have got tattoos. There's been tons of graffiti about Luigi. When people fled to Red Note, the Chinese app, there were loads and loads of posts about Luigi. The phrase, to Luigi someone, is now kind of a slang. You see people going, that person needs to be Luigi'd. Obviously, that is extremely dark. But people, all of it is sort of a bit tongue-in-cheek. What's interesting is, all of it is a bit tongue-in-cheek, but also it's kind of not, because there is just so much resentment towards elites, but particularly to sort of predatory corporate elites of the kind you see a lot in America. And now with Trump coming in and like just doing all the most cliched, like tax cuts for the wealthy, get rid of like, they got rid of Meals on Wheels, for example, literally this week, you know, fired loads of veterans, you know, very much the kind of stuff that would agitate, I guess, what you'd call class warfare. Like, the Luigi sentiment is still very much simmering and bubbling online. Like, he has very much become a symbol. What do you make of all this? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think they're being too harsh on purpose to punish him preemptively before he's found guilty? I suppose the vague they I keep saying is sort of like the legal system, the prison system. I suppose the guards are a little bit more autonomous in terms of how they want to treat him, because that's like a day-by-day thing. But in terms of like how the system, the damn system, man, is treating him, they seem to be quite harsh. Are you annoyed about this whole thing? Let me know in the comments down below. And now we make it to the secret question for people who've made it all the way to the end. And the secret question is thus: there's a $100 million prize, but you have to win a board game. Which board game are you picking? Which board game do you back yourself to win? What's everyone's board game? I love Articulate. I'm a good Articulate guy. You're assigned a random person who knows how to play the game. I mean, if you're picking like Monopoly or something, you're crazy, because that's just like random. I'm Benedict Townsend. This has been Scroll Deep. Until next time, that's tennis. Is the hair looking not too crazy? I just need it to look not too crazy. It goes a bit nuts. Yeah, I still don't really understand how to make it be normal. Hold on.